Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. It appears that Rosalind Leighton has finished her series of writings on the SEC versus Ripple case, in which she has been extremely critical of the SEC and Kim Jong-Gensler. And she was contributing to Forbes, but I am unsure of her initial motivation for doing so. However, the most of the, 2.5 years that the case was ongoing was spent being covered. Furthermore, she began to experience some censorship at the conclusion. 2 of our pieces were removed from Forbes, the last one being the final one. You can read the Crypto Basic coverage article here, which was taken down by Forbes on February 16 of this year, quote, "This is why the SEC has taken a different stance on Ripple and Ethereum." And as you can see, this page has been archived from the official Forbes website and has been replaced with Gold Sky. Now I've covered it on my channel. In fact, I've covered every single piece she's published on this subject on my channel. And I really appreciated hearing a new point of view. Forbes has been featured in the major media, and everyone agrees that Forbes is correct. However, it appears that she has stopped contributing to Forbes. As far as I can tell, this is Rosalind Leighton you see on the screen. However, she does have a brand new article out. Forbes simply hasn't picked it up yet. DC's Journal has it. I have not yet had a chance to read this article. But I've discussed every piece she's written thus far. This episode has a good chance of being the last one. And if there are any new and exciting developments in the world of crypto, I hope she'll keep writing about them. However, this may be the last word on the subject of bringing XRP into compliance with applicable laws. Because I have complete faith in her writing abilities and believe that everything she has ever produced is excellent, I didn't feel the need to read it in full before discussing it. This means that we will be sharing a first-hand experience. And I'll simply throw out some random ideas as we go. Let's just dive right in. However, before we go any further, please don't be confused. There is no one to back me up monetarily or legally. You should not buy or sell anything based on what I say, and I am not a legal or financial advisor. I'm just a fan who occasionally posts videos to YouTube discussing random crypto-related things for kicks. The SEC contested the statute in this article, which is why it has that title. That's such a fantastic name. After 3 years, the individuals the US government is intended to protect, consumers and small investors, won the cryptocurrency lawsuit of the century, SEC versus Ripple. The SEC went up against a pioneer in the cryptocurrency industry in the United States in this lawsuit. It also put to the test 90 years' worth of federal law and jurisprudence, as well as the expertise of America's top financial regulator. The law, which established the SEC in statute and relied heavily on a 1946 U.S. Supreme Court rule defining the agency's authority, fortunately prevailed in the case brought before Judge Annalisa Torres of the Southern District of New York School. Most XRP purchases were likely not securities trades since the Howey test defines security as an investment in a shared enterprise with a reasonable expectation of benefits generated from the labor of others in the enterprise. Yes, and I'll pause here to let you know why. Judge Torres ruled that XRP is a security sometimes and is not a security sometimes. Therefore, those who say the ruling is bad are either being dishonest or are completely clueless. Something's as ridiculous as saying something about Howey. Sometimes oranges are security, but other times oranges aren't, as ruled by the judge. Actually, the judge is the retired Supreme Court, so what will they say? SCOTUS. Instead, it depends on the structure and specifics of each transaction. That's what Judge Torres ruled on certain categories of sales, and I read the judgment. First, she discussed programmatic sales, and then she moved on to institutional sales made through the ripple effect. Just like that, she did that. She used the pre-existing regulation. That settles the matter. It might have been more apparent otherwise. That's why I don't get folks like Charles's incomprehension of the concept of gasping. The, poisonous nature of Bitcoin is something I can relate to. Trolls are incredulous and really don't want it to be real. That's why they all hang out in their own echo chambers and keep repeating this nonsense, because it did. There are plenty of people who believe this. Nevertheless, they are virtually universally XRP haters, both before and after the verdict. Contradicts one another in their beliefs. So, I truly believe that victory was predetermined for our team. Despite the fact that we received a poor decision from mere tours. In my opinion, XRP investors would have won big if this case had gone all the way to the Supreme Court. Only in a very distant future. Consequently, I'm relieved that we won't have to hold out till then. I'm simply stating that we're on the up and up legally speaking, so we would have gotten our hours regardless of what happened. Peace continues anyway, unperturbed by the media frenzy surrounding the case of Taurus, which has zeroed in on the SEC's claims against Ripple and its two top executives for illegally selling XRP over the course of the past decade. The impending decision cleared Chris Larsen, the board chairman of Ripple, and Brad Garlin, the CEO, of any wrongdoing related to the selling of XRP. More than 75,000 retail XRP holders joined the case against the SEC, and the ruling exonerated them, as well as numerous prominent U.S. legal experts and crypto industry professionals. They all agreed to fight back against the SEC's faulty legal assumption that the XRP token itself is a digital asset security, which would classify all future purchases, sales, and investment transactions involving the company as securities. The majority of XRP coin holders had never heard of Ripple before purchasing XRP, the court heard from these witnesses. Yes. Keeping that in mind, here is something to note. That, if not for the work of the amici who submitted briefs in support of Deaton and the thousands of other XRP holders, would not have happened. Over 3,000 XRP buyers have attested in court documents that they were unaware of Ripple before making their purchases. I'm not sure we would have gotten the same verdict if none of this had happened. However, the significance of this was not lost on anyone. Investors, whom the SEC is supposed to protect, have never before signed up in such large numbers, 76,000 strong, to say that the SEC is actually hurting them, negatively affecting millions of individuals throughout the world. This has never happened before. In a word, it's incredible. And so yes, when they were calling XRP a digital asset security, what they were arguing was just what I highlighted recently a few times. If you Google search the Securities or Exchange Act definition, if you just type that in, for me, at least when I did that, Cornell popped up first. This information may be found on a wide variety of online resources, and it clarifies the meaning of the term security. XRP is not listed as a digital asset security, digital asset cryptocurrency, or any other type of digital asset. If the SEC doesn't like it, it's still just an asset. Since there is no such thing as a security backed by digital assets, the attempt to label XRP as such failed. You could make a case that it is, at least from a definitional standpoint. To avoid getting too technical, you could create a cryptocurrency that is really simply tokenized stock in a corporation and call it a token. And that's a virtual asset, I guess. In addition, you could argue that it is a security since it stands in for stock. However, this is only semantics, as this would still meet the definition of a security. This is the place to get a little bit technical. But if you're talking about tokens in general, the SEC was claiming that these are securities, even if they'll tell you to your face that's not the case. If you look at the legal reasons, you'll see that this is clearly not the case. They were completely outmatched and had zero shot of victory. No, not at all on that score. To say the least. Even if taking it to the Supreme Court was necessary. Court upholds, the SEC's legal theory pushed precedent so far that it effectively established a new de facto law for technologies not foreseen at the time Congress enacted the Securities Act of 1933. This is unfortunately typical of bloated bureaucracies that are always on the lookout for new fields to dominate. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, XRP holders, along with any holder, trader, or developer of any digital asset, face the risk of an SEC victory. Any other token or asset could be used in place of XRP. It was an openly hostile takeover of regulatory turf. XRP is a digital token that is not in and of itself a contract transaction or scheme that embodies the Howey requirements of an investment contract, end quote. The law is clear, which is why retail XRP holders benefited the most from Taurus's decision. She stated categorically that even a proxy for a security does not constitute the security itself, and that only sales and offerings that pass the full Howey test are legal. Not enough of an original idea. It's been the law for nearly a century. So, obviously, it's feasible. That's what I meant when I said it a minute or so ago. To hear that this somehow contributes to chaos in the crypto community is beyond incomprehensible. No way, no how. This was a very, very, very old and nuanced ball application. Did what the SEC didn't and evaluate all defendant XRP sales against this metric, ultimately concluding that only sales of Ripple to institutional investors constituted securities due to the nature of the investor's relationship with the company. The Howey test was not passed by anything else. In particular, it noted that the blind bid, peer-to-peer nature of cryptocurrency sales on exchanges like Coinbase, Binance, and Kraken is a key feature of the cryptocurrency market. Therefore, the SEC has no authority over the sale of XRP on exchanges. Let us pause to remember the transactions that occurred when an institution bought XRP from Ripple. Once again, such were deemed illegal by the judging tours. Right. But I want to point out that those institutions that purchase Ripple, even if those transactions were illegal, and that's what your store is asserting, then they are not the same as the ones who are allegedly quote, unquote, protected by that ruling from that aspect. This is because the critics say that retail holders like you and I were not protected, it's only institutions that get to protect. The acquisition of XRP by these same entities on any of these exchanges would be a blind bid. Therefore, those dealings would not be considered criminal. Programmatic purchases continue to be made. That retail holders like you and I lack any form of security is also not the true. But deals on an institutional level are not and have never been the norm. The plan is what matters. Ripple is the one doing the selling here. Is there a shared goal being pursued? Can we count on making money from our Ripple's efforts? The critics are either being dishonest or are legally illiterate. It's awful news either way, and they're wrong. Rosalind Layton continues, however, how could any retail holders of XRP who obtained their tokens on exchanges enter into an investment contract with someone they didn't know, be it at Ripple or anyone else? This is obviously true. However, in legal sense, enjoy this moment of triumph. The situation is fine. Wow, this is awesome. This is really exciting to me. It's remarkable to say the least. The time has come, the event has occurred. And I can say that I understand it quite well now. Time is no longer an issue. This is the actual world, so yeah. I can't help but recall that now and then and think, wow, that actually occurs. There are still occasions when I feel a trace of it. Although I can't speak for you guys, I think it's fine if a decent amount of time has gone. That's great, though. Let's move on, content with acknowledging the truth. So, let me just say that the SEC made a huge strategic error by going after Ripple, and not just because for so many, let's name them, huge war chest basically infinite money, if they wanted to continue terrorizing the entire world of crypto and engaging in regulation by enforcement and engaging in this just egregious jurisdictional land grab. I mean, Ripple has more cash than God, therefore they have the wherewithal to see this thing through. You've also upset the huge community of XRP holders, who are a smart, successful, and active bunch who are not going to take it any longer. For these three reasons, it was a huge opportunity lost. The SEC's gauge and hatteries behind would be accurate. For their own sake, they would have done better to target less formidable opponents. They could have even been able to claim victory on occasion, as certain opponents might not have had the resources or, the guts to press on. And sure, they might have possibly established a standard, but holy cow, that's messed up. So, yep, we suffered through a living nightmare for around 2.5 years. But I suppose it's all worth it in the end. Simply put, I'm not content. Sadly, we had to go through it. But holy crap, what happened? What do you think this means for us in the long run? And what will happen the next time the market is euphoric and Kryptos is involved? I'm down for this, gang. No, I don't give out financial advice. Nothing I say should be used as a basis for a purchase or sale. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.